I have some February releases to talk about today, some March releases, some Christina Lauren reads, and some book to movie books that I want to read. Welcome to my February TBR. Welcome back, or if you are new here, welcome. My name is Katrina and I make bookish content here on this channel at least twice a week, and then movie reviews or the aforementioned book to movie content here at the weekend. In the description box you will find all of my social links, including my blog and my Goodreads, so you can keep up with my reading in between times. I also post generally what I'm reading, and especially concerning some of these books, over on my Instagram as well, so make sure you are following me on there. So yes, I have some February releases to talk about, some March, some Christina Lauren books, and some book to movie books that I'm going to be hoping to read. This TBR does seem a little bit ambitious given the fact that it's the shortest month, but we're going with it. We're having high aims, aiming high, and I hope you appreciate the Valentine's outfit that I put on for you today. So I have a couple of February releases that I didn't manage to get to in the month of January. So the first one of these is A Sky Full of Stars by Dani Atkins, which comes out in the UK as you are watching this tomorrow, the 4th of February. I just didn't manage to squeeze it in my January reading, partly because I put it off because I know it's going to be an emotional read, because the Dani Atkins book is always an emotional read, and just partly because I ran out of time in January. It happens. And then on the 9th of January, this is, so I think this is the US cover. I got myself confused between the two, but this is As Far As You'll Take Me by Phil Stamper, which comes out on the 9th of February, here in the US. So I think this is the US cover that's released in the US on the 9th of February. The UK release date for this one is the 4th of March. So I am aiming to get to this one by US publication day. And I have both of those on ebook. And then moving on to some March releases I would like to get to. We have Flappy Entertains by Santa Montefiore, which I am on the blog tour for, so I'm excited to read this one. But even without being on the blog tour for this one, I read the premise of it and I was looking at pre-ordering the audiobook, because I do like Santa's books on audio. I've read a lot of her books that way, and so I'm really excited to read this, and my lovely friend Haley just finished it and really enjoyed it, so I'm even more excited to jump in ASAP. And that one is out on March 4th in the UK, and also on March 4th in the UK we have The Dog Share by Fiona Gibson. Fiona Gibson, I feel like, is definitely like a bit of an underrated author. I always seem to end up on her blog tours, although I don't think I'm on the blog tour for this one, but I then pick up the book and I'm like, this is hilarious, and this is like what we're all thinking but not saying, and Fiona Gibson says it, so I'm really excited to jump into this one. I know she's gonna make me laugh, which is just the great part about it. And then another March release, which I actually have a physical copy of. You'll have seen this one in my latest book haul. If you haven't seen that one, I will leave it linked up above. This is The Dating Plan by Sara, Desai, and I know a couple of people have already read their copies of this one because this was an early release from Book of the Month, and this one comes out in the US on the 12th, and I just think it's a beautiful, beautiful cover. It's so dreamy and romantic, and it's the fact that even the Book of the Month part of it is like purple complementary colour. It's just nice. And then I will be reading a Christina Lauren book a week in the month of February. If you have missed my announcement video of that one, I will leave it linked up above for all the details. But I personally am going to be reading 6 Christina Lauren books this month, but the aim is to read 1 book a week. The most important one that I added in there was this first week, the first week of February, I'm going to be reading Twice in a Blue Moon, in addition to where is it, Josh and Hazel's Guide to Not Dating. So we're reading this one as the official week 1 book of the sort of readathon, read along. However, I want to read Twice in a Blue Moon because the Buzzword-a-thon word for February is a colour, and this one obviously has blue in it. But yeah, all the details about that read along are in that video, so go ahead and watch that one to find out what we're reading in weeks 2, 3 and 4, and then make sure you're subscribed so you don't miss the live show that Hayley and I will be doing to talk about what we read, what we enjoyed, and our general thoughts on binging some Christina Lauren, because it's been too long and I need to catch up on their books. Then there are 3 book to movie adaptations I am very excited about in the month of February. One of these, I have book to movie videos for the first 2 books in the series. Yes, I am talking about the Netflix adaptation of Always and Forever Lara Jean, which is the 3rd book in this series, and I have made book versus movie videos for the previous 2, so I will leave those linked up above. For book 2, I reread book 1, and I think I then rewatched the movie as well. For this one, I'm going to try just rewatching the 2 movies, then picking up the book, then watching the movie. And I believe this movie hits Netflix on the 12th of February. I think that's a Friday, yes. So we're going to be aiming to read that before then. And then an author who I have met and I've read one of her books, but I haven't read this one. And this one is coming to Netflix as a series, I feel like on the 17th, but then that's not a Friday. So around about then, I should have got my information correct. But this is Behind Her Eyes by Sara Pinborough, and I have read Cross Her Heart by Sara Pinborough, but I have not read Behind Her Eyes, and I'm excited that this is being adapted into a limited series as opposed to just a movie. So I'm looking forward to reading the book in the second half of February and then watching the series and bringing you a book versus series. So make sure you have your notifications turned on so you get notified of that video. And then one that I was made aware of by it getting suggested to me as something I should add to my reminders list for Netflix, and this is Firefly Lane by Kristin Hannah. I have not read any of her books, but this series, this movie looks really like me. Is it a series or a movie? Can't remember. It looks like something I would really enjoy. So I downloaded the audiobook and I'm going to listen to the audiobook because this one hit Netflix on the 1st of February and I'm excited to watch it. So I want to read the book first and then we'll be watching Firefly Lane and bringing you my book versus movie thoughts here. And then finally, I have an audiobook which I am also on the blog tour for. As I am filming this, it's the 1st day of February and I am just about finished it. But this one is That's What She Said, which is Tales of Business Success from Women Just Like You. And this is by Vicky Fraser, and the audiobook is narrated by her, and so she has some guest speakers on there, and it's really interesting so far. And it's one of those audiobooks where she directly tells you things to do. She gives you actions, which I like in a non-fiction book. And the last couple of audiobooks I've listened to have been fiction, and so it's been really nice to jump into some non-fiction as well. So there you have it. I have some February releases, some March releases, some Christina Lauren books, my book for the Buzzword-a-thon, and some book to movie adaptation books. Let me know in the comments what you are planning on reading in the month of February. Also, let me know, are you going to be joining us in reading those Christina Lauren books if you already watched that video? If you enjoyed this video, give it a thumbs up. As I say, make sure you are subscribed so you don't miss that live show at the end of the month. And also my upcoming January TBR and my upcoming book to movie videos for all of those ones that I've talked about in this video. Thank you so much for watching. I will see you with my January wrap up very soon.